ladies and gentlemen. What's the point in being on time when you can be perfectly on time? Give me a second. Yeah, we're on, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Guys, listen, the crux of this video is war on an industrial scale. It is coming. I'm going to lead with a video from Andrew Bridgen. Now, you guys know Andrew Bridgen is the outspoken ex-Tory member of Parliament. He was the only person who was standing up talking about the COVID in the times of the COVID. He did that really weird speech, and this is what put me onto him. Andrew Bridgen stood up and he did this speech about COVID while COVID was happening, and it was very peculiar, guys. I don't know if you've seen this. I mean, I know the footage is out there somewhere. He got up and he started to do a speech about COVID and the problems with the the medication. When he gave that speech, somebody came round and everybody just left. Everybody just left, and he was there on his own. That, to me, that was like apocalyptic, some sort of dystopia. So we are going to be talking about that, guys. Also, something that's kind of off topic, but I want to share it anyway. I saw a video this morning, and the video is of not that one. So I saw a video this morning, and let me know if you've seen this in the chat, guys. There's a video of a HGV driver in Bradford, and he crashes into a few vehicles and drives it around. I'm going to go on to that. I might do that first. No, guys, we're going to do the Andrew Bridgen video first. And then I'm going to come on to this. I know it's off topic, but let me know if you've seen the video where the HGV driver crashes into some cars. When I share this video with you guys, what I want you guys to focus on is what the native Bradford people are shouting. Like, if I get angry with someone, I will shout, "Get out your car! I'm gonna do this with these to you." That's what I'll shout. I don't shout things about that person's mum or sister. I don't shout sexual threats to their mum or sister. And it just, like, you know, it fascinates me. I'm like, hang on a minute. These guys are angry with that driver, so they're shouting threats to his mum and his sister. Doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. But when you look at the dynamics of the United Kingdom, you know, it kind of does, that sort of thing makes sense now. Anyway, right, we're going to jump straight over to the Andrew Bridgen video, guys. And I will play this video later on in the live stream. But if you're on, guys, can you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, guys? Because ultimately, it's only your fine fingers that make this channel grow. Right, I'm going to go straight onto the Andrew Bridgen video, guys, now, okay? So let me go back. I'll try and not stop it, but who am I kidding, guys? Oh, who am I kidding? I'm probably going to stop this. Right, so this was a video posted by Andrew Bridgen. Now, I'm just going to I'm probably not going to let the video run, guys, but I will try and let the video run as long as possible.
Tony Blair's Civil Contingencies Act sees lots of power, crush dissent, and of course he'll be able to cancel elections.
So what he's saying here in this video, guys, Andrew Bridgen, is he's saying time is running out. People need to wake up. People need to understand that we're heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale, and elections could be cancelled. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I have an 8-ball, and I'm going to be honest, guys, it's not that accurate. In fact, hang on. Will elections in the UK be cancelled? Where's that gone? Right, you know what, it's on the, will elections in the UK be cancelled? I can't see what that is. Positively doesn't sound, that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, guys, let me continue with this video. So this is a video that Andrew Bridgen posted. Remember, he's an ex-Tory MP. He's somebody, you know, who's very outspoken. He's said a lot of good things. I've never met him.
Macron and Merz in France and Germany, they're in the same situation. They don't want elections. This suits the puppets of the elite. And of course, Tony Blair and his family are making a fortune out of the digital ID. That's why he was so much in favour of it. And all those who've invested in the war industries, they'll be making a fortune as well if they can get us into a war. And I can just see Starmer now coming out. He'll be telling the ordinary people that you're going to have to make sacrifices because of the war.
When he said that, you know, I can also see Keir Starmer coming out there, giving a speech with his little glasses on. We are in this together. We have to make sacrifices because of this war. We have to fight. It's going to be difficult, but we have to fight and we have to come together to win this war. I can honestly, guys, I can just picture this right now.
When they weren't making any sacrifices at all, your children and your grandchildren expected to die in a ditch in the Donbass.
Your children and your grandchildren expected to die in a ditch in the Donbass. Look, guys, yesterday I did quite a long monologue at the start of the video, and I was talking about how I think, well, how I know that we need to stop fighting wars, all of them. They're all ridiculous. You know, we need to use our competitivity, use our industrial knowledge, and go into space. That's what we need to do. People will still make a shit ton of money. People will still be able to get rich. People will still be able to exploit people, but people won't be dying. Kids will have an actual future. He's talking there about our children and our grandchildren having to go away to fight a war in the Donbass. Now, wouldn't it be better? And I've said this so many times, guys, it seems like a mantra. Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't you? Let me know, guys. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you want this world that we have right now. Maybe you're happy with the way that the country's being run. Maybe if you're in France, Germany, you know, Canada, the United States, maybe the United States you are actually. Maybe wherever you are around the world, maybe you're happy with the way things are being run. Or would you like Raven's future? Would you like Raven's future whereby our children and grandchildren, they're not looking at what war they're going to be fighting in. They're looking at what planet they're going to be colonizing. They're looking at what new technology they're going to exploit for the benefit and for the greater good of everyone. Ultimately, this needs to be run and pushed by Western Europeans. Why? Because nobody else can do that. If we're looking at people as a race, it's not going to happen. Do we think, like, I don't know, do we think the what other race of people can do this, guys? And that's why, and again, you know, if you want to look bigger into this and deeper, you start to go down a real dark rabbit hole thinking, right, okay, why is European culture being suppressed? Why is European culture, you know, being under attack? Why is Western culture under attack? And then you come to the conclusion, because Western culture are the only ones who can get off this planet and go into space. That's the reality. So do we have some sort of alien overlords in the world right now, suppressing people, destroying Western culture, because the aliens know that the only real threat to intergalactic travel and to stop us getting off this planet is Western culture? Tell me another culture that can do that, guys. Tell me another culture. I'll continue with this video, guys, and I'll stop and get comments.
Protect the borders of a country when we can't even protect our own borders from illegal migrants.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Keir Starmer coming up and saying, we have to protect the borders of Ukraine. We have to, look, guys, and I've got a lot of skin in the game when we talk about Ukraine. I do. I've got friends out there. I've got assets out there in Ukraine. You know, so I've got a lot of skin in the game in Ukraine, and Ukraine is one of the places that we would move to. Ultimately, I don't think British children should be sent over there to protect the borders of Ukraine if we can't protect the borders of our own country. I don't. I really don't, guys. And I don't see a win. I'm not seeing a win out there either, guys.
We've got to stop them. We've got to wake up to what's going on in our country, and we've got to claim it back before it's too late. And time, ladies and gentlemen, time is running out quickly.
So there you have it, guys, from Andrew Bridgen. Andrew Bridgen's last post on X. He's saying time is running out quickly. He's saying that the politicians, Keir Starmer, they don't want another election. They're determined to get us into a war with Russia, you know, and they don't want our children and grandchildren dying in a ditch in Donbass. Neither do I, guys. Neither do I. Let me know what you think. Are you happy with your children going over to Ukraine and dying in the ditch in Donbass for Keir Starmer and his globalist elites so they can come back and push digital ID and destabilize, not even destabilize, demoralize, destabilize, dystopianize the United Kingdom, because that's where we are right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is where we are. Right. Let me get up and get the comments on TikTok, and then I'll jump over to YouTube. Good morning, everyone on TikTok. Good morning. T's joined. Andrew Saunders. Gax is here. Hello, Gax. Jean Branch. Rosie Loki cosplay. Okay. Lisha, I think her name is. Right, I'm just going to jump down to the comments, guys. Unless I see a really cool name. No more cool names. I do apologize. I can't see any more cool names. Sharon Owen is saying good morning. Marie Gen X is saying good morning. Lulswells is saying hi. Timsky saying morning. Bright Eyes is saying morning all. Turn around, Bright Eyes. Debbie Doobs is saying morning. Silence is saying morning. Danny, share the live. Guys, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are triple streaming this morning. We're always triple streaming, unless one of them is not working. Every day, guys, we will triple stream, all right? So can you do me a real big favor, guys? Can you like, comment, subscribe, share my stuff? That really helps me out with the algorithm, guys. Share my stuff. If you're watching and you've not done so already, can you please hit those follow, like, subscribe buttons, whatever those buttons are that help this channel grow. Deary Gen X is saying morning, everyone. So is Jules. Linda Lou saying morning. Carl is saying don't think it's far away. It's 6 months minimum. Yeah, we are talking this morning, ladies and gentlemen, about a war on an industrial scale, because that's where we are heading. I promise you, the wars in Afghanistan, and you can't call it a war, the conflict in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq, they were special forces operations, guys. They were not on an industrial scale. Those wars, I promise you, I went to both of them. They were not industrialized. What we are heading towards now is a full spectrum industrialized conflict. And as Andrew Bridgen is saying here, elections will be cancelled. I've said this many times, guys, don't write Labour off. They can do a lot of swizzly dizzlies and, cancel that election. Remember what Trump was saying the other day? Donald Trump said to Zelensky, so if you're in a war, you don't have to call elections, right? Okay, I'll remember that. Seems like it's the status quo now. If you're in a war, you don't have to have elections. I get it, guys. I get it. So for the next person who jumps up and says, oh, Zelensky's a dictator. All right, okay, guys, it's a totally different scenario in Ukraine, and I will be critical of Ukraine when it's due. I'm British. I'm British first. I wouldn't move to Ukraine and say I was British Ukrainian, then expect Ukraine to buckle to my way of life. I wouldn't do that anyway, because I kind of like the Ukrainian way of life. Lots of vodka, lots of vodka, lots of borscht, and lots of barbecued meat and shashlik. Sean, what is shashlik? Bring shashlik. Okay, Yuri, I bring shashlik now. Do you have vodka? Yes, I bring beer as well. Okay, no problem. So I like what Ukrainian way of life. I wouldn't expect them to buckle to my way of life. Guys, listen, I've got a lot to get through this morning. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, all those things that help this channel grow. I can't even remember why I was started that little side quest, but I'll carry on and get the messages. Debbie Doobs is saying, what? Are we at war? No, Debbie. Well, do you know what, Debbie Doobs? I would speculate, yes, we are at war, but certainly nothing official has been, nothing official's been announced yet. I'm going from a video that Andrew Bridgen released. I think he released it last night. He's saying Starmer will enact government powers to crush dissent, cancel elections, bring in digital ID. Starmer's determined to get us into war with Russia. It will be this is not me, guys. I'm not saying this is what Andrew Bridgen is saying. I am sloping those shoulders. I do not want to get Lucy Conlid, guys. I don't want to get Lucy Conlid. I'm good. I don't want to get Lucy Conlid. He's saying it will be your children children and grandchildren dying in a ditch in Donbass. Remember, guys, okay, if we can't protect our own borders, if we can't secure our own borders, why are we going and, securing other people's borders? And again, guys, look, as I'm saying this, I'm saying this with someone who has a lot of skin in the game in Ukraine. I've got friends, people I consider family who live in Ukraine. I've got assets out there. Ukraine is what Kiev, certainly. Kiev's not a country, Kiev's a city. I would, 100%, we are considering to moving out to Kiev. So when I say this, I'm saying this with 100% objectivity. We are talking about that anyway. Right, let me jump up and get the rest of the comments, guys. I will get all these comments and then I'll continue, because I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. There was a video. There's a video of a truck driver in Bradford. He gets stuck and he crashes through some cars. I'm going to play that video, not because of the video. Well, yes, because of the video itself. But I'm going to play the video and I want you to listen at what the people are shouting at him. It's unbelievable, guys. It's unbelievable. Judy Lee saying morning. Debbie News has just said, are we at war? How is everyone? Fantastic, fantastic train of thought. Carl is saying, my brother went to Afghanistan with the rifles. Yeah, look, guys, Afghanistan, the war in Afghanistan, it wasn't a war, was it? The conflict in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq, they were not industrialized conflicts. Whatever anyone thinks, they're wrong. They were localized special forces operations. Local elections, Debbie Doobs. No, we're talking about general elections here. General elections would be cancelled in the time of a war. Maybe the digital ID is our wartime rations. Yeah, maybe it is. Linda Lewis saying, so while we're all worrying about boats and Palestine protests, our eyes are away from Russia. Guys, listen, we are heading into a global conflict on an industrial scale. Andrew Bridgen's warning about this now. More people are warning about this. And what I mean by an industrial scale, all that is going to matter, and we're on the back foot, industrially, the West is massively on the back foot, guys. Massively, massively, massively on the back foot. All that's going to matter is how Red Team can get their stuff from Red Team's factories to the front line used by Red Team's military. Can that be done quicker and more abundantly than Blue Team getting their stuff from their factories to the front line and used effectively by their soldiers? And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I keep saying this, here in the West, we do not have a win on our hands. We don't have a win. The numbers don't add up. Unless somebody's going to, unless some sort of politician, you've got Macron. I mean, look, guys, Macron is quite a dashing guy. I've seen him dancing in the discos in the, have you guys seen Macron dancing in, I don't know, maybe in the 80s or something, and he's dancing? Not a chance that guy is straight. No way, Bob. He's not a straight man. But look, whatever. I don't mind. He's quite a dashing, charismatic guy, and he is. There's no denying that. There's not a chance in hell he's a war leader. Not a chance. There's not a chance he can rally the troops. There's not a chance in hell he can go to the military-industrial complex and say, right, you lot, stop fucking about. This is how we do it. This is what we're doing. This is the direction of travel. My way or the highway. He won't be able to do that. Neither will Keir Starmer. And this is the problem. Our perceived enemies, and look, guys, whether you think that Putin's great or not, they're the perceived enemy right now. And if you live in the United Kingdom, that's the reality. That's the direction of travel, whether you agree with it or not. It's kind of like, if you're in a car, right, and that car starts to skid off the road and you're heading towards a big tree, big oak tree, big British English oak tree, very strong. You're heading towards an oak tree. Does not matter what you shout. Doesn't matter whether you say, you know what, you can be in that car. Imagine this is a car. Imagine this is the UK right now, right? We've come off the road and we are heading towards that. Come off the road. Oh, Timsky's saying there's no sound. Right, guys, can you hear me on TikTok? Guys, can you hear me on TikTok? Timsky's saying there's no sound. Right, okay. Timsky, maybe you've got your volume down. Right, thanks, guys. It must be Timsky's phone. So this is the, and I hear you, Debbie Do. So this is the scenario right now. The United Kingdom, we've been on a road trip, and we're all here. We sat in this car, and we've slipped off the road now, and we are heading at 70 miles an hour towards a big, thick tree. Everybody's arguing in the car. Oh, I know we shouldn't have took the M1. I know we should have took the M62. Oh, we shouldn't have gone this way. We should have took my car. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're still going to hit that tree. Doesn't matter how much you argue what you should have done. That's the direction of travel now, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you like it or not, that is the direction of travel. I keep saying it. It war on an industrial scale, industrialized war, global conflict on an industrial scale. And right now, here in the West, we are arguing about the best way not to hit the tree. We're going to hit the tree, guys. The tree's coming. Right. Sean McKay is saying storms like Amy are the only protection against migrants. Crazy how a storm is more powerful than Starmer. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hey, look, going back to migration, guys. Look, we're talking now. You know, I want this live stream to be specifically focused on what is coming with the prospect. Well, it's not prospect. It is an industrial scale now. It's an industrial scale conflict. I mean, the amount of artillery used by the Ukrainians, and as this goes on, what happens is those artillery barrels that they shoot through, they don't get reserviced, so they get less and less accurate. So because they get less and less accurate, they have to fire more ammunition through them. And look, guys, try telling someone that's in the middle of a shit fight, you know, that they need to go and service their barrels. It's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. They're going to fire through those barrels, and then those barrels need servicing. Because they're not serviced, they become less accurate. Because they're less accurate, they need to fire more ammunition through. But that is where we're heading. Right, guys, now I am going to just jump onto something real quick. This is off topic, but it came out, and I just, not that one, but it came out, and I just want to, it's only a 45-second video. Right, so I want to play a video to you guys. Now, the video, it's been going around X. There's a HGV. This is in Bradford. So there's a HG. Let me give you the context, guys, and I'll play the video. I know it's off topic, but it kind of builds onto what we were talking about last night. So just contextually, last night when we was on the live stream, we found out that lots of British Pakistanis who marry their cousins have a lot of birth defects. One of these birth defects, well, some of these birth defects are loss of hearing, loss of speech, and schizophrenia. That's not me saying that. That was an article out. And they're saying that Bradford has 35% more people claiming disability benefits because of this. Now, that's the reality, guys. That is the reality. Now, this is a video from Bradford. Now, think about what you want. This is a video from Bradford. I'm going to play the audio now. You only need the audio. I don't know if you've seen it, guys. Put it in the chat if you've seen it. There's a truck, and he's gone the wrong way, and people are shouting at him, and then he crashes his way out and drives off. So I'm going to play the audio now, and I want you to listen to what people are shouting, what threats they're shouting at him afterwards. So right now in the video, guys, there's a load of people around him. I think the Bradford people are not moving their cars to let him out. I don't know the context of the video. The context not relevant for my point I'm making. But he's just crashed into a car and people are shouting at him. Listen to what they're shouting, guys. Listen to what they're shouting. Did you hear that, guys? They're shouting things like, I'm going to shag his sister. I'm going to shag his mum. Like, that's what they're saying now. It gets better. Shag his mum. What a son of a whore. What a son of a whore. I'm going to rape his sister. That is what they're shouting. So when these people are angry, guys, look, I'm not making that up. That is what was said on that video. I'll replay that for you now. Shaggy's sister, Shaggy's mum. What a son of a whore, I'm going to rape his sister. So this man now, so is this a thing that happens in those communities, guys? It's like, if that was me and somebody had just smashed into my car, I'd be shouting, get that dickhead out, I'm going to knock him out, or something like that. Him, that driver. I wouldn't then decide, oh, you've done something wrong to me, I'm going to do this to your sister or your mum. Like, why are those the insults? Like, I'm not, I look, guys, go and look at this video yourselves. I've not posted this video. Now, I bet they'll phone the police. I bet these are the same people who want to defund the police, but I bet these are the same, but I bet these people now phone the police. Let me just rewind that, guys. I don't know if you guys hear what they're saying there on YouTube. I'll play that out when I jump over to YouTube. I will play the video. Just listen to what they're saying. Shaggy's sister, Shaggy's mum, like they go, Shaggy's sister, Shaggy's mum, I'm so angry with you. What's wrong with these people? Can you imagine being so angry? Can you imagine being so angry? Like it just doesn't make sense, guys. Doesn't make sense. What a son of a whore, rape his sister. What's his sister done? He might not even have a sister. What are they going to do if they can't find his sister? Right, his cousin. He ain't got any female cousins. Right, what are you going to do? Right, whoever his driving instructor's mum was. Oh, right, okay. Is that how this community rolls? Are these the people we want in our country? Unbelievable. Sorry, guys. Right, guys. The sound on. Okay, so you guys on YouTube are shout. Okay, the sound's not that good on YouTube, right? Okay. What I'll do is when I jump over to YouTube, I will share that video with you, and we can go just watch it again. Again, it's off topic. You know, it's off topic. I was just like, nobody's mentioning this. Like nobody's mentioning this. That like. These people are angry, obviously. You know, they're angry. You can always tell how people react when they're angry. You know, like if we're angry in the house, you know, Sarah will go wild, and she's like waving her arms around. And I'll be saying, right, look, we need to get all the information together first before we make an informed decision. And then Sarah will be shouting at me then, and she's like, yeah, sure, we need to do this. I'm like, no, listen, we just need to calm down. Everybody needs to calm down, right? We need to get all the facts. Let's get all the facts first. Turns out, people in Bradford, their first go-to is to threaten mums and sisters with sexual assault. Right, if you hit me, I'm going to sexual... Anyway, guys, listen, I want to get back on track. That was just... I just wanted to share that video with you because it's absolutely wild. You know, and I was watching this, and last night we was on a live stream and we was talking about this stuff, and I put a thing up and we started talking about cousin marriages, and then we got all the birth defects, and I was like, Jesus Christ, is this what's really happening? Is this really what's happening in the United Kingdom? Is this the United Kingdom? Get me to Antarctica, ladies and gentlemen. The sooner the better. The sooner the better I can go to Antarctica. Timsky over on YouTube, TikTok, sorry, he's saying, You would think they would tell everyone so people can prepare. I know we do, but most don't. And Carl is saying zombies. Zombies, zombies, zombies. Right. Yeah. I think Carl's talking about, I don't know. What are you talking about, actually, Carl? Do you mean the people in Bradford? Oh, guys, I've got nothing against anybody who lives anywhere. All I'm giving you is the facts here. And the facts of this video, again, the video might be AI. The video could be fake news. I don't know the context of this video. I don't know what's going on in the background of this video. What I do know is that people were shouting, do things to his mum, do things to his sister. And then at the end, the guy shouts something like, son of a whore, rape his sister. Is that a punishment in that? Like, is that a punishment in that culture? Like, is that a punishment now? If you do something, can you imagine going to court? You know, yeah, you're fined for speeding. Bring your sister in. What? What? Oh yeah, bring your sister in. What? What's she done? Anyway. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get back on track. So the crux of this video has been war on an industrial scale, war industrialized, the industrialization of war, elections cancelled, elections in the United Kingdom, elections across the West, elections all over would be cancelled, according to Andrew Bridgen. Now, he posted a video earlier, and I will play that video again before we close out. He's saying Starmer's going to enact government powers. Remember, these powers, these governmental powers, they get passed. They get passed in, you know, like the government powers that have just been passed in the UK that's going to stop protesting. Yeah, that's going to stop protests outside hotels. 100%. So now in the future or moving forwards, if there's a protest outside a hotel, and it's been there for more than one day, the government can say, right, you're not allowed to protest here anymore, because now a protest is not supposed to cause fear. That's the legislation. You know what? That's the perceived legislation. Let me just Google it. So I don't want to say it. I don't want to quote legislation if it's wrong. Right, I'm just Googling this, guys. Let me try and get this up on the news. I spelled government wrong. What a douche. Right, so this is from the gov.com website. I'm reading this in real time, guys, okay? Right. This is from the government website, right? So nobody can, you guys can't, nobody can get me done for fake news. I'm going to read this and then give you guys interpretation. My Raven interpretation. And my interpretation is always right, guys. New police powers to protect communities from disruption caused by protest. Okay? Police forces will be authorized to consider the cumulative impact of protests, assessing previous activity when deciding to impose limits on protests. And look, guys, when we talk about the police getting new powers, this is the government getting new powers because the government put pressure on the police to enforce those powers. Let me find the paragraph. Police forces will be granted new powers to put conditions on repeat protests. So you know the protests in Epping, 100% that would come under this new law, the legislation actually. As the Home Secretary orders a fresh look at how protests are policed and organised. So if you're protesting against a war that may or may not break out, guess what? The new powers, which will be brought forward as soon as possible, will allow senior officers to consider the cumulative impact of previous protest activity. Here we go, guys. If a protest has taken place at the same site for weeks on end and caused repeated disorder, surely that is the purpose of a protest, no? The police will have the authority, for example, to instruct. I've gone off on TikTok. I'll give it a second, guys. I'll try and continue. I think I'm back on TikTok. Right. Let me continue that, guys. So if a protest has been at the same location for weeks and has caused repeated disorder, the police will have the authority, for example, to instruct organizers to hold the event somewhere else. Anyone who breaches the conditions will risk arrest and prosecution. The Home Secretary will review existing legislation. Hang on, let me scan through this. I think that was that. Right, okay. The Home Secretary said the right to protest is a fundamental freedom in our country. However, this freedom must be balanced with the freedom of their neighbours to live without fear. That's the sentence I was trying to find, guys. There it is. So now what they're saying is, if a protest causes fear, then it can be outlawed. And they didn't close off the speech marks, which really winds me up, guys. You know when the government puts something out on their website and it's not punctuated correctly? Listen, but I'm not the punctuation, please don't worry. So what they're saying there is the right to protest is, and this is what's key, guys, this word fear. This is what they're going to bring to bear, all right? And this is I'll tell you how this is going to be interpreted. So they're saying that we have the freedom to protest, but you're not allowed to cause fear. You're not allowed to scare people. So here's the thing, guys, all right? If you call, right, so here's how I see this legislation being interpreted, all right? Let's just say, for example, that you're protesting the government because you don't want to be in a war with Russia, and people are outside Parliament and they're saying, we don't want a war with Russia. We don't want a war with Russia, you know, and they're all protesting. Those members of Parliament would be in fear of losing their jobs. So the MPs can say, remove the protest, I'm scared of losing my job. And then the police are obliged the police are obliged to go through with that. And guys, look, you know, be under no illusion, when these laws are passed, the police are obliged, to enforce them. And the example I give, and we've seen this now in real time, the example I give is, imagine Keir Starmer, not even Keir Starmer, imagine the government passed through a law war. Imagine Keir Starmer passed through a law that everybody's firstborn child had to be given to the government. You have 2 weeks with that child, and then you have to give that to the government. You never see that child again. I know it's wild, but just go with it, visualize it. You know, comes through Parliament, and Bill 422, where we require the firstborn child of every family born from the 1st of April 2029 to be given to the government, and that child is never seen again, and we passed that law, and it's now legal. You know, they've gone through the law courts because the only people that you need to enact that, you only need a very few amount of people on the payroll or on the subversion list to enact that law. Do you think the judge sitting on Lucy Conley's case was not subverted? I don't know. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. So you only need a few people in that sphere to enact those laws. Now, of course, giving your firstborn child to some sort of global cult would be ridiculous, and people would not do that, and you would have chaos. But what about the other laws? What about the little laws that nobody really takes notice of? Of course, those laws are going to get passed, and then and then the police have to enforce them. And we really have shackled ourselves, guys, to our own demise in the United Kingdom. Not only have we shackled ourselves to our own demise, we are paying for our own demise as well. So when we've got these laws that are getting passed through and nobody really seems to care, that's where we are, guys. That is really where we are at the moment. So Carl over on Timsky's saying there's no sound. Timsky, it seems like, I think there must be something on your phone, mate, because everybody else is getting sound. Carl over on TikTok is saying, do you have, oh, hang on. Right, the chat, hang on, let me pin this. I'm trying to find Carl's comment, guys. There we are, right. There we are. Carl on TikTok is saying, do you have a time scale on major escalations towards the war in Europe? I don't. the major escalations are happening every day. You know, the Ukrainians are losing ground every day. I think everybody wants, you know, everybody's waiting for this big announcement. I don't think it's going to happen. I think what will happen is these soldiers will be ferried in. You know, they'll be ferried in the back, through the back door quietly. You know, yesterday we found out from somebody on the chat, and guys, I need to caveat this. This was a message from someone on the chat. Yesterday we found out that from someone on the chat that he had a friend who'd been pushed up 5 miles away from the Ukrainian border. We heard from people, again, people in the chat saying that they know people, they have people in Ukraine, and they're saying that Western troops are coming, about 100 a day are being brought into Ukraine, and 100 a day are not leaving. So it does look like this buildup of troops could be happening secretly. I don't know if that's happening, guys. That, you know, you've got to take that with a pinch of salt. So I think what would happen is they would just say, yeah, we're there now. You know, we're already there. Anna Cool is saying no sound. Right, listen, guys, quite a few people are saying there's no sound on TikTok. You know, quite a few people are saying there are sound as well. Listen, guys, we are triple streaming. So if you're worried about the sound, if you're worried about the quality, we're streaming on YouTube and we're streaming on X as well, guys. All right, I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube and I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. Streaming, exact same live stream, guys. Okay, exact same live cast. I will be closing this down on TikTok in a minute, well, in like 10 minutes or something, and we will be just streaming on YouTube, and I'll be showing you those videos as well. Linda Lou is saying in the hang on, let me pin this. Linda Lou is saying in the Children's Welfare and Schooling Bill has a rule about detaining children. It's scary. Really? I don't know what that is. Sean McKay, Paul Poops, and Linda Lou are all saying we can hear fine. Yeah, guys, I don't know if it's everyone. A few people have complained about the sound. I don't know whether it's a problem on your side or whatever, but we are triple streaming, guys. So if you can't hear, jump over to YouTube or jump over to X, because we are streaming there as well. Right, let me caffeinate myself, guys, and I'm going to play the Andrew Bridgen video again. Because Andrew Bridgen is warning about war with Russia. He's warning that Keir Starmer wants to drag Britain into. Look, guys, this is not me saying it. I need to be clear. All right, I need to be clear. All right, I don't want to get Lucy Conlid. Under no circumstances do I want to get Lucy Conlid. I'm just repeating to you what someone else has said. I can't get done for that, can I? Can I get done for repeating what someone else has said? I don't know. I hope not.
Activate Tony Blair's Civil Contingencies Act sees lots of power.
Let me just Google this, guys. Let me just Google what this Civil Contingencies Act is. UK Civil Contingencies Act 2004 is legislation that creates a legal framework for creating. Andrew Bridgen then just talked about enacting Tony Blair's Civil Contingencies Act. Now, I'm just reading this, guys. I don't know what this is. I'm just going to read this off legislation. What's this website? In fact, I'm not going to read that one there. I'm going to go back because that is. I'm going to read this, guys, all right, and then I'll come on to the legislation in a second and have a look at it. So, the Civil Contingencies Act 2004 is UK legislation that creates a legal framework for preparing for and responding to civil emergencies. A war would definitely be one. The Act defines two categories of responders, with Category 1 responders, such as the police, fire service, and local authorities, having the most extensive duties, including assessing risk, developing emergency plans, and informing the public. The Act also provides for Category 2 responders, who are required to cooperate with Category... Whoa, hang on a minute. Which are required to respond to Category 1 responders. This includes a second part detailing emergency powers for ministers to use in severe... Jesus Christ. Guys, I know where this is going to go. I know where this is going. Right now, guys, right now, I know where this is going. I've just read this for the first time, guys, and I've got goosebumps. Okay, let me read this again. So basically, the Civil Contingencies Act is the way the government can set. I'm going to do the live stream on this later on today, guys, because I need more digging on this. You know how I keep saying that these migrants are going to be part of the security in the United Kingdom. You know, I keep saying that. We've already seen a mass uptick of people who don't speak English as their first language providing security. Providing security at hotels, providing security at supermarkets. My friend's friend, who I've given you guys a story before, he lost his job. He worked on security at one of these outlet centers. They've all been let go, and they employed another company, or maybe the same company, I don't know. And they just employed non-native English speakers. I don't know whether they're cheaper or whatever, but that's the reality now. So here's the thing. I'm just getting this in real time, guys, all right? So this bill, and remember what I said, guys. Remember what I keep saying about these little laws that nobody seems to understand and people don't see where they go, and it's little by little by little by little, and nobody seems to oppose them because it's little by little, the Fabian way. So you get two categories of responders. So the Civil Contingencies Act, guys. Look, and I'm giving you this in real time analysis, guys. I've literally just read this, all right? So what I'm reading from this straight away is you get two types in the Civil Contingencies Act 2004, which will be enacted in the time of a war. You get two type of responders. Category 1 responders: police, fire service, local authorities, ambulance, etc. That's category 1. And then you get category 2, who are people who are required to cooperate with category 1. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, this is how it's going to roll. This is how the government are going to roll. What they're going to say is, times of emergency, we need more police on our streets. We are going to use private security companies to bolster our police force, to bolster the police so we can have more security, more safety, more security on our streets. Those private security companies, guys, will be made up predominantly of migrants or people who don't speak English as their first language. And then they will say, oh, we have to pass this new law. We're going to give these people extra training. We're going to give these people not powers of arrest, but powers of detention. So these people can detain people. So now you've got the scenario where somebody who doesn't speak English comes and detains you. Do you not see how bad that goes, guys? So what's stopping those people putting their uniform on and just doing whatever they want? Guys, I've seen this all over the Middle East. I promise you. When I was in the military, should I say this? No, I can't say that. You know what? I can't say that. I definitely can't say what I was just going to say. It's been well documented. Places in the Middle East use police officers in police uniform to go and kidnap people. That's documented, guys. That is well documented. So riddle me this, riddle me that, Batman. If private security companies get the power of detention, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this will not be the powers of arrest. The powers of arrest will be solely for police officers. But you'll be detained and you'll be taken to the police or taken somewhere else, especially if you're a young lady. So I'll give you the scenario I've told. Well, I'll give you the anecdote that I saw the other day. You know, it's quite a while back, months ago, actually. I came out of a supermarket and there was two girls. They had their trolley outside the supermarket and they got a load of booze. They were like young, mid-20s. They were blonde. You guys know what I'm talking about. It was summer and they had like skirts on and little belly tops. There was two of them. And just picture the scene, guys, all right? It's summer in the United Kingdom. I think this might have actually been last year. It might have been, I can't remember. It was summer. It was hot. two girls standing outside the supermarket with their trolley. You know, I wouldn't say scantily clad, but, you know, they were in summer clothes, blonde girls, a load of booze in the trolley. The security guard came out of the store and he was asking them to see the receipt. He was saying it in broken English and didn't really understand him. But what I'm getting at here is they've already left the store. Literally, when you pay for your stuff, it says, do you want the receipt? And you're like, no, I don't want the receipt. I don't want to carry that. I've got my stuff. I'm going. So here's the thing. What is the difference in that security guard coming out of the store and asking to see the receipts while they're standing outside, you know, like the trolleys were there. I think they might have been waiting for a car to come and pick them up or something. So the trolleys are there. You know, they're just waiting. It was like a road there. I think they were waiting for somebody to come and pick them up. So what's the difference in that security guard coming out and saying, show me your receipt there, or following them back to the car? Like, legally, what's the difference in that guy coming out of the store and asking to see the receipt when they're out just outside the door, or when they're putting the shopping in the car? What's the difference? I don't think there's any. Okay. What's the difference in that guy following those girls home? You know, he's a security guard now. He's a protector. He's following those girls home. He wants to know where they live because he thinks they might have been stealing. Okay? Now, give that guy powers of detention. Say to that guy, he's got, you know, you've now got powers of detention. You can detain those people. You see where I'm going, guys? You know, and if people don't understand, I mean, these two girls, they had a lot of attitude. They were giving him some right. They were not being cooperative. They were telling him to go back in the store. But what I'm getting at here is maybe next time those girls are not as cooperative. Maybe those girls don't really understand their rights. Maybe it's a single mum and he's followed her back to the car and she's got kids. It's a terrifying scenario that we're heading towards right now, guys. And this Civil Contingencies Act 2004. Do you know what? I think I might do a standalone video on this, guys, because it is quite important. Linda Lou is saying, I can hear you, and I can hear you too, Linda Lou. She said, also saying, Sean, Bruce unfilters. He explains everything about the bill. It's going through Parliament now. Sean McKay is saying, do you remember me saying migrants could be given powers and uniforms? All makes sense now. Yeah, it does. Look, guys, and I've literally just read this in real time. And that's my analysis from what I'm reading there, guys. All right. That's real-time analysis. Real-time speculation. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that's where I see it going. Lissu is saying, I'm really late today. What have I missed? Lissu, you have missed all sorts. You have missed the war on an industrial scale is coming, guys. All right, we've been talking about that. We've been talking about the elections potentially being cancelled in the United Kingdom if the Civil Contingencies Act 2004 is enacted. We've also been talking a little bit off topic about a video that I saw of some people in Bradford with a vehicle, and the vehicle, it's a HGV, it's getting into trouble, and it hits a few cars. I don't know the context behind this, guys. I don't know the context, but the guy drives into some cars and then drives off. We've been talking about the curses that people were shouting, some real weird things that these people were shouting. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, if you're jumping on right now and you want to get the beginning of this video, we are triple streaming. We're triple streaming on YouTube, we're triple streaming on TikTok, and we are triple streaming on X. So if you've missed this video, guys, they will all be uploaded to YouTube. And with that bombshell, I know I said, right, with that, I said I was going to do the Andrew Bridgen video. I'll do the Andrew. Do you know what, guys? I will do the Andrew Bridgen video and I'll play it so you guys can see it over on YouTube. And I will also do this video where the guy in Bradford smashes into the cars, just so you can hear yourselves what these people are shouting. Paul Poops is saying they'll get given a laminated designation card and then that will make it legal for whatever. You're actually quite funny. When I used to work. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get this. Give me a second. Right. Can I? Hopefully, I'll be able to close the live stream. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. When I used to work in Afghanistan, I'm not going to tell you the company we worked for, but they used to say, just print your own ID. Make something up, get a template, print it, put some stamps on it, and make it look official. And again, I think, you know, I don't think that's how, what Paul Poops is saying there is, I don't think that's, you know, beyond the realms of possibility. Google it is saying the French Prime Minister has resigned. Yeah, the French Prime Minister has resigned. We'll talk about that, guys. Listen, I am going to jump over to YouTube now. So if you guys have not followed me over on YouTube, I'm going to be jumping over to YouTube. We're going to be doing the Andrew Bridgen video. I know I said I'd play it again for you guys, but we just ran out of time. So I'm going to jump over to YouTube. We're going to play the Andrew Bridgen video. We're going to play the Bradford video. We're going to watch that. And I am going to stop that Bradford video, guys, because it is absolutely wild. I think it's the wildest thing I've seen, and maybe I'm just noticing this now because of last night's live stream. If you don't watch last night's live stream, where you like, look, guys, I don't know what I'm going to get when I turn these live streams on. I don't know the direction of travel that we're going to go. I don't know what you guys are going to say in the comments. I don't know what you guys are going to say in the chat. And last night we went down a very peculiar rabbit hole where we found out that I think 35, I think you'll have to go and check the live stream yesterday. I think it was 35% of people from Bradford claim disability benefits. And this was from an article from the Daily Mail. And they're putting that down to same cousin marriages. Do you know what? They're not putting that down to same cousin marriages, actually. They're just saying, and they're letting you make that assumption. Oh, Google is saying I live in Bradford. That is true. Right, okay. Right, listen, guys, but I am going to jump over. Guys, if you could all jump over if you want to continue this chat. If you want to jump over and continue this chat, guys, I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be playing some... we're going to be playing this video from Bradford. In fact, Google it. If you can jump over to... if you're going to jump over to YouTube, you may be able to give us some context on this video I'm going to play in a second. I hope you can, because again, the video is, you can see the video is edited. It doesn't really matter from my point about this video, but I'd like to get context to the video because I don't really, you know, there's obviously more context behind this video, and I don't want to say who's in the right or who's in the wrong. All I want to do is comment on what people have been what people are saying in the crowd, because it is wild. Anyway, guys, I'm going to turn this live stream off TikTok, and then I'll be over on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. If you're not jumping over to YouTube, I will see you later today at 8. And we're off. We are off. Right, give me a second, guys. Let me find this video. Because the Bradford video is crazy, guys. Right, hang on. Do I want to? No, remind me tomorrow. What do I need to search for? Where's that video? Right, let me find Andrew Bridgen video. Right. So is that it? Oh, he's just posted another video. Hang on, he's just posted another video. No, this is the one I was talking about. Right, how do I share this with you guys? Right, let me share. Right, I'll share this video with you now. And then we'll I'll just let this video play out while I share it, and then we'll give commentary afterwards, and then I'll do the Bradford video. I forgot to share things. Right, there we go. There we go. There, no, not that one. That's definitely not how we share things. Share screen. Right, so let's make this big.
Elections. Activate.
So this is Andrew Bridgen. For those of you guys who don't know, Andrew Bridgen is an outspoken. I really like Andrew Bridgen. He comes out and he really gives some truths about what's happening. So let's just play it, and I'll try not to stop it, but I think I probably will. He's talking about Keir Starmer. If we go into a global conflict on industrial scale, war with Russia, he'll be able to enact the Civil Contingencies Act 2004. And what we've just discussed, my speculation, my opinion, would be that that Civil Contingencies Act would give the legal framework to bring, well, we just spoke about it. So I'll just play it through, guys.
Tony Blair's Civil Contingencies Act sees lots of power, crush dissent, and of course he'd be able to cancel elections. Macron and Merz in France and Germany, they're in the same situation. They don't want elections. This suits the puppets of the elite. And of course, Tony Blair and his family are making a fortune out of the digital ID. That's why he was so much in favour of it. And all those who've invested in the war industries, they'll be making a fortune as well if they can get us into a war. And I can just see Starmer now coming out. He'll be telling the ordinary people that you're going to have to make sacrifices because of the war.
You know what? I genuinely have that vision as well. And I have that vision in him, like in a little bomber jacket, you know, looking all wary and tough. Honestly, I can see that.
When they won't be making any sacrifices at all, it'll be your children and your grandchildren expected to die in a ditch in the Donbass. To protect the borders of a country when we can't even protect our own borders from illegal migrants. We've got to stop them. People have got to wake up to what's going on in our country, and we've got to claim it back before it's too late. And time, ladies and gentlemen, time is running out quickly. Thank you very much for listening to me.
So there it is, guys. You know, I can't disagree with what he's saying there. You know, a lot of those points that he's bringing out on that speech. You know, I didn't even realize what this Civil Contingencies Act 2004 was. But it's there, it's legislation, it's been passed. And that would give the framework for people to be obliged to help the emergency services, you know, because there would be category 1 servers or category 1, what's it say? Hang on. What does it say? Category 1 responders. So they would be your category 1 responders. And then your category 2 responders would be the people who are under this new legislation, emergency legislation. You then get category 2 responders that help category 1 responders. So that, in my opinion, would be the implication. That, in my opinion, would be the the implementation of using private security companies to reinforce the police. Right, this phone's going, guys. He wants a video call. I'm not doing video calls. Right, I can't do video call, and I certainly can't let you guys know what I'm talking about. That would be. Right. I'm just gonna let that ring, guys. I'm just gonna let that ring, because you know what? It's work, but you guys are more important because I am here for you. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit those bell notifications, ladies and gentlemen, because ultimately that's the only way this channel grows, and I know you want this channel to grow bigger. Right. Let me get you this video from Bradford now, guys. In fact, I'll get some comments and then I'll get this video from Bradford. 82 TJ X. I'm just gonna call. Okay, so X-ray Oscar 82 Tango Juliet. I'm just gonna call you 82. He's saying first time I saw that chap, but he's on the money. Yeah, if you want to look at his previous videos, some of the things he was saying about COVID, you know, like he was the only person who stood up while COVID was going on, and he stood up and he gave this speech, and it was really strange because somebody came out and they whispered something to all the other politicians and everybody just left. Guys, if you want to see an image of dystopia, go watch that video. Damned Doberman Company is saying wars due the new reality, new infrastructure, the new nations. Yeah, but a thing about a world war, it changes the world. Sean, would you come out of retirement if they asked you? Who says I'm retired? What do you mean? Are we talking about like military? I mean, yeah, sure. Look, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I love a good scrap. Right, let me get you this video about. Let me try and find you this video on this Bradford video. Let me just try and find this, guys, real quick. I'm just going to do Bradford HGV, see if it comes up. Yeah, got it. Right, give me a second, guys. Right, I'm just going to share this with you now, guys. I'm going to give you the Bradford HGV. And again, you know, when I'm sharing this with you, I don't know what the previous context is to this. I just want you guys to see. Hang on, let me make it big. So when I'm giving you this video here, guys, I just want you guys to see. I mean, obviously something's happening. I don't know what the context is behind this. Obviously, there's a vehicle, you know, I don't know what's happening. There's a lot of people on the streets. They look aggressive. I don't know what's happened previously. No idea. No idea what's happened previously. Doesn't really matter for the point of this video. But if there's anyone on here who can give like background context to this, I'd be really interested. But what I want you to do is, and I will stop this at various points, I want you to listen. These guys are obviously angry because somebody's crashed into their car, and that's fair. That's fair. I'd be angry if someone crashed into my car. What I want you to listen at is their threats, their initial reaction. What they're going to do? Oh, you're so angry. What are you going to do? Ah, what are you going to do? Rah! Just listen.
Get out, you motherfucker. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, now. Whoa.
First of all, guys, at that point now, he needs to get away. You know, he needs to get away as soon as he makes. I don't know what the context is here, guys. I don't know. I genuinely don't. I'll be quite clear. I don't know what the context is. But once you do that and you go aggressively with a vehicle, you need to get out, because he would have been lynched right there if they'd have dragged him out. So first thing you hear then, did you hear that? Shaggy's sister. Shaggy's mum. So people are shouting, Shaggy's sister, Shaggy's mum. What? Eh? What? He's crashed into your car, so you're going to shag his sister and shag his mum?
What son of a whore, rape his sister.
Did you hear that? What a son of a whore, rape his sister. I don't know what that means. Obviously, you know, we need an investigation into this, and we need a white paper written, and we need hundreds of thousands of pounds to understand what that actually meant. What that actually meant is, that meant he's very angry, but he doesn't really. That's the first thing that these guys are saying. I'm so angry. Shaggy's sister, Shaggy's mum, son of a whore, rape his sister. Like, hang on a minute. Like, the first thing I'd say were, find that prick, I'm going to knock him out. That's how I'd be rolling.
Oh, you chip the son of a bitch.
So, I don't know what I don't know what the context of that video was, guys. You know, I don't know what what's happened previously. I don't know who's in the right, who's in the wrong. I genuinely don't know. What I just want to comment on is, like, this first time I saw this video this morning, it's like, these guys are angry, and quite rightly so. You know, somebody's crashed into their car. Why is their first threat against his mum and his sister? Why is the first oh, you've done something so bad to me, I'm going to sexually assault your sister? What? How's that a thing? How is that a thing? So I don't know what that is, guys. You know, I don't know what that guys is. Oh, just in 1970. Are you talking about the guy's video? The guy Andrew Bridgen. Andrew Bridgen. Right. Demery Gen X is saying him and Neil Oliver were the first to shout off the rooftops about COVID. It is crazy, guys. I mean, look, we lived through the biggest scam. I think the biggest scam we're going through at the moment actually is, I think a bigger scam than that was is climate change. Paul Lloyd is saying they are wrong uns, matey. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't. You know, if somebody like crashed into my car, the first thing I would be thinking about is, right, first of all, are the kids safe? And if I was angry about that because he was being a dick, I would be holding that guy responsible. I would have been threatening sexual assault. I know I'm laughing, guys, but it just seems wild. And I can remember, you know, let me try and find this because I need to be very careful. I need to be very careful. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is an article from the BBC. So, guys, we're going down that road, okay? We're going down this direction, all right? And look, guys, I only saw this video this morning. I'll play that Bradford video for you guys again. So this is an article from 2017, and you'll understand why I'm talking about it. So this is an article from the 26th of July, 2017. All right, you'll understand why I'm going back. Pakistani village council orders revenge rape of girl. Some 20 people from Multan, Pakistan, have been arrested for ordering the rape of a teenage girl in revenge for a rape her brother committed. I'm reading that off the BBC, guys. I'm reading. In fact, let me get this up here. Let me share this with you guys. What's the article? I need to be very careful in these things, guys. Okay. I will share this with you guys. I will share this. Has that gone off? Has that gone off? Right. So this is an article from 2017. And I'll be quite clear. I'm just going to read it to you. So here's the article, guys. All right. Pakistan village council orders revenge rape of girl. What is revenge rape, I hear you say? Well, I don't know. It's not a thing I knew. So here's the article, guys. This is from the BBC on 26th of July, 2017. That's the article. All right. I'll just read you this bit here, guys. Okay. You know, you guys can check this video out yourself. This thing out yourself. So some 20 people from Multan, Pakistan, have been arrested for ordering the rape of a teenage girl in revenge for a rape her brother allegedly committed. So in this article from the BBC, there it is, guys. I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you what this article says. In this article, you know, right. Some 20 people from Multan, Pakistan have been arrested for ordering the rape of a teenage girl in revenge for the rape of their brother. So a guy rapes someone, and as punishment to that guy, his sister has to get raped. And you're like, what the actual fuck? Like, what? How is, like, you know? So now you look at that video we've just seen and you're like, right, what is it about these people and rape? Like, what is it? And then you think about, like, you know, if the, you know, and again, you know, this 72 virgins thing comes, you know, if you martyr yourself in Islam, you get 72 virgins. Like, really? Is that your vision of paradise? Like, my vision of paradise would be like on a yacht with my bros, or like, I don't know, infinite knowledge of the universe, having a spaceship and being able to go travel other planets. That's my image. Like, that's where I want to roll. It's phenomenal, guys, you know, and it really has brought out like a very peculiar undertone of conceptuality. Now I'm looking at all this and I'm seeing all this like inter-cousin marriage and stuff. I'm just thinking, what is actually going on? And these are the types of people. So now let's go back at the, okay, guys, I'm doing this in real time, okay? Let's go back to the Civil Contingencies Act 2004, all right? I don't even know if I'm going to say this. Right, so let's just go with the article there that I showed you from the BBC. All right, where I'll read it here again. I'll not share it with you. I've just shared it with you. So people in this village ordered revenge rape. You know, rape as a punishment. Okay, rape as a punishment in that village in Pakistan. Right? Let's just say that revenge thing. Let's just say that's. Just go with it, guys, right? Go with it. Let's just pretend that the BBC, let's just pretend for 1 second that that article is real. Let's just pretend. And you know what? I can't, it is real. It is real, right? So let's just say that those people come over to the United Kingdom and they, from that village, and they find themselves, through whatever curious quirk of fate, they find themselves in the job working as security. The Civil Contingencies Act 2004 gets invoked, and now that person, those people, are working in support of the police. Remember, revenge rape is a thing in that community, as per the article says. Now let's go back to the scenario I was talking about when the girls are leaving the shop and they've got the booze. Show me a receipt. I haven't got a receipt. I pressed no receipt. You've stolen it. I've not. You've stolen it. I'm the security guard. Right. Time for your punishment. You see where I'm going with this, guys? You see where this leads? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. Just seems crazy. Just seems insane. Just in 1970, says so many people are carrying on as if nothing is happening. We are the minority in this fight for UK freedoms. We are, you know, and people really have in the United Kingdom shackled themselves to their own demise. Absolutely, like financially shackled yourselves. And look, guys, if you're watching this right now, my advice to you, if you live in the United Kingdom, is just get out. Really, you know, I don't see what direction and what movement is going to make things better. There's certainly going to be no, you know, there's certainly going to be no shining hero on a silver-clad horse. And even when I'm doing these videos and I'm reading things off the BBC like that, I feel dirty when I'm reading those things, guys. You know, I don't even want those things on my screen. I feel dirty reading that. Right, sorry. Let me jump down. Let me jump down and get these comments. Freddie is saying 22 virgins, all from 0 to 90 years old. Okay, right. I think I've missed some. Comments. Right. Okay. Forzesk is saying no. That was a non-educated, stupid villagers who then was sent on trial. I think that means the whole group was then on trial for even forming a revenge group. Okay, so Forzesk, whatever that was, okay, it doesn't matter whether that was law. What I'm talking about here is the culture difference. You know, literally the culture difference. You know, whether that went through, whether it happened, it doesn't matter. What I'm talking about here is the fact that people even thought it was legit. And the use of rape in this culture, you know, in certain cultures, you know, I mean, they're talking here about Pakistani village. That's what they're talking about, guys. That is an article from the BBC, all right? I'm not making it up. That is the article from the BBC, all right? And then we've got the video I've just shown you, all right, where, okay, let's just, you know, I'll give you this. Let me do this real quick, you know, give better context. Sorry. So I know I've done these before, guys. I'm just going to share this screen real quick, all right? So this article here, you know, what we've just spoke about, and I've highlighted that there. And then, you know, we can go straight from that article there, and we can consider the, you know, we can consider what we just spoke. Sorry, not stop. Sorry. Let me try. And then we can consider this video. I'll just let it run through again. So now listen. So consider that. So for these people in that village in Pakistan, they use rape. Legally or not, those people in that particular village use rape as a punishment to a man. Maybe they don't have the minerals to go fisticuffs with another man. I don't know. Maybe they don't have the minerals to go one-on-one with a man and have to go gang on one girl. I don't know. Maybe that's how they roll in that culture. I don't know. But here, watch this video, and I want you guys to take that image, that thing I've just said, and just like contextualize this, guys. I don't want to pass judgment. You know, I'd love to know the previous context, but just watch.
Get out, you motherfucker. Whoa. Okay, now. Whoa. Smashed on the cars. Shaggy's sister.
So first thing, Shaggy's sister. Shaggy's mum. These people are angry. Then first thing they're shouting is Shaggy's sister, Shaggy's mum. Okay, right. Now you remember what happened in that village in Pakistan. All right, culturally. I'm not talking about legally. I'm talking about culturally now.
What son of a whore raped his sister?
What a son of a whore raped his sister. I'm not saying those words. I'm not passing judgment. I just want to understand. I just want to understand. Look, I don't think I'm being rude or negative by wanting to understand why some people use rape as a punishment to men. Rape their siblings as punishment. Like it doesn't make sense. But then neither does neither does cousin marriage. Maybe I'm just bigoted. Maybe I'm just bigoted, guys. Maybe Raven is bigoted because I don't understand this. I don't understand this act. So when Forzesk is saying, no, that was a non-educated, stupid villagers, you know, how many non-educated, stupid villagers of them have come to the United Kingdom? I don't know. You know, I'm talking about the whole cultural aspect of this. It just seems crazy. Just seems crazy, guys, you know. Trevor Pritchard is saying, I can't get out of the UK, but why should I? Or I can get out of the UK, but why should I? And go where? Iceland? We must stay and fight for our lands. Our lands are lost, guys. You know, our lands are lost. I don't see the big movement coming, guys. I don't see the big. And silly Gallardo here is, I think this is building onto building onto what we're talking about. Where are you going to go? France, Belgium, Sweden, Spain. Stay and fight for Britain. Stay and fight. Britain saved the world 80 years ago. I honestly, guys, like, I'm seeing the world right now, and I'm seeing the only direct. There will be a fight back, but it's not coming for a long time. I think there's going to be a mass exodus to Antarctica, and then from there, there'll be a drive forwards. Freddie is saying, Sean, you saw the movement at Southport. Yeah, I did. You know what, guys? I don't know. You know what, Freddie? You're absolutely right. You are 100% correct, buddy. Is that what it's going to take? Another one of those incidents? What is it going to take? The longer these things go on, you know, and it was just some people shouting because they were angry. You know when I'm angry at a man? And believe me, guys, it happens quite a lot. I don't shout sexual assault to his family or his siblings. I don't do that. I'll shout something like, get out of that car, you, like you, because Me and you are going to give it Queensberry's. I don't shout, I'm going to do something to anyway. So yeah, Freddie, you are right, but hopefully, hopefully something as massive as I won't understand. Forzeski saying, yes, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that's all about education and they're not educated. You know what, Forzesk, I agree 100% with you. You are 100% right. Some people are not educated. And if we all get educated, and we all understand what's normal and what's right, but then comes the next question, educated about what and whose education? And who teaches you on that education? So if you're being taught for example, if you're being taught in a school that taking sex slaves off your enemy is okay, then you're going to believe that that's okay. But who's to say that's right or wrong? Because if you're being taught in another school that taking sex slaves is not okay, who's to say who's right and wrong? Would it be racist to say that they were wrong if they were from a different culture? This is why I say cultures are fine. Go back to whatever country you agree with that culture. Let us have our culture here and our laws. If you don't like our laws here, with all due respect, go to a place that you do like them. If you want to have a rape culture and you want to punish people with rape, fine. Go to whatever country that's legal. Absolutely fine. Go do that. Knock your socks off. Go for it. I don't want to live in a country where this thing happens, Salman Woodland is saying we have lost the war. Unfortunately, is mad what's going on. We have lost what you are. Unfortunately, it's difficult, guys. It really is difficult. It's just like there needs to be that spark. And I'm certainly not talking about anything violent. I'm talking about just people saying no. Like people say no. I don't want that. Thank you very much. I don't want David Lammy coming up there when people get massacred in a synagogue saying, we are a tolerant nation. Does that even make sense anymore, guys? Does it even make sense to be a tolerant nation? Do you even want to be do you want to be a tolerant nation? Ask the Jews in Manchester. Ask those people who live in that area. Do you guys want to tolerate that? Are you happy tolerating that? Are you okay? We're tolerant. Yeah. How many young girls have been sacrificed? Oh yeah. Yep. Look how tolerant we are. Look how tolerant we are. I'd rather be less tolerant and less afraid than more tolerant and more afraid. Jesus, I nailed these things, don't I? That should be on a t-shirt. Yeah, do you know what? Brilliant point there. So Silly is saying, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. But what we need to agree is that some education's wrong. And what I'm saying is we have a situation in the United Kingdom where people don't believe some education's wrong. So Silly Gallardo here is saying, what's happening in the universities now? Question mark. What about the doctor's son called Jihad? Was he not educated? Yeah. So this doctor, as I understand it, he's a trauma surgeon from Syria. Is he not educated? And yet he called his son Jihad, and then his son went off and did a jihad. Slim is saying we should not tolerate the intolerable. I don't even want to tolerate anyone at this moment, guys. I'm not even tolerating work phone calls. Hang on, let me see if there's any message on the group chat. Yeah, it's gone crackers. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have work to do. I'm late as it is because you guys are keeping me chatting. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to close this down now, guys. Listen, if you're on and you've not done so already, can you hit those buttons down below, guys? Like, comment, subscribe, bell notification. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning, guys. The crux of this video, we kind of went on a little side quest, didn't we? The crux of this video this morning has been the war on an industrial scale. Elections cancelled. the implementation of the Civil Contingencies Act 2004 and where that leads. And if you're not going to, we're not even closing this down now, guys. We're just going to be closing this off for good. So I'm going to be back on late today, guys, 8 o'clock or just before. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope to see you later. And if not, I'll see you whenever I see you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share my stuff, guys. Okay? I'll see you later.